and there's a Michelin dinner, for example,
Mhm.
luxury. Like in the end, it's also like there's a chef and also an artist in the end, in some way or another here to understand every ingredient in order like to not just or like to create something that I couldn't. Like he had to understand that how to prepare it, which flavors you eat in which order in order to enhance the experience, and to invite you also in his own world. And it's in the end like that what I was thinking about. The other thing when we come to to objects basically out of the experience of, but there's also like in buying itself the object, it's an experience by itself again. So um maybe like the second layer would help there when we say like we buy luxury to prove ourselves what we are, maybe, but more critically what we aren't anymore.
Mm.
Um that it's important like to like like you said, like there's time where you spend understanding, for example, brand. There's where you're looking for resonance, that something appears, that speaks to you, something that you see that you couldn't articulate by yourself before or find anywhere else. You you see an object, you see something and it resonates. You don't you hear a story and you say like, oh yeah, that's like part of what I am or what I'm looking for. Um and then we place money to buy it. Money is a consensus mechanism in that, and it's also like always painful in a certain way because we're giving something up where we worked for, what we earned for, in order to attain something. It's kind of like the purchase experience. In that moment, the identity, the change, the projection on the object that I have, or also on the experience, becomes part of my identity. So it's something similar what I say was art. Like art is like it's like um, one of the languages that you. It's an ancient language basically that you don't need to study. Like because either you resonate with the artist, which you have never met in your life, you stand in front of the picture and either it resonates with you or not. You either understand it or you don't. You walk past it or you stand there and see like, oh, they're like, I understand why the artist did certain things in a certain way. And you find it fascinating. It evokes emotion in you because somewhere you have the same experience made as the artist in a way or not. Otherwise, you wouldn't resonate at all with this. So, I think that would be the layer 2 on luxury. Is it true in your observation? Not?
Well, again, if I go back on the watch, you said a very strong word. An object can define you. I would like to remind everybody that the watch is an accessory at the end. You can spend a lot of money on it, but it remains a complement to your person. This watch adorns you, but you are much more important than the watch you're carrying. Oh, certain clients are carried by their watches. Certain clients wear their watches. For we serve the latter, and uh, and it's important to keep it like that because it is your persona, yourself. You are the context in which these 4 centimeters of our body, and you are adorning that, and that has to resonate with you. How you are, how you dress, how you behave, because you can have a very elegant watch, but then if you're a loud person and not really and a bit vulgar, probably you're not. There's misfits, no, then in this, no. Armani used to always say that the dress is beautiful because of the woman that wears it, not because the allure of the dress is enhanced by the person that wears it. No, I find it extremely right because the what we buy must not we must not overdo it. What we buy is a compliment to us, to our person. We are the center,
Yeah.
and I like to keep it this way. because otherwise we become consumeristic in the way that we purchase. And we should be purchasing to please ourselves. That's what you said at the beginning, no?
Yeah.
So that remains that intimate pleasure that a cultivated purchase of a luxury product gives you as an experience, which first of all is educated, cultural, and personal. And then it has a social recognition, resonates socially. I think the first time in the world of luxury that luxury started talking about social segmentation with the ancient Romans. Before it was beauty for everyone, like in the Greeks. Luxury was something that everybody could benefit because it was something aesthetic, that's something there. With the Romans, it becomes a social class segmentation. Okay, and that's 2,000 years ago. You can imagine that the social segmentation in luxury will always be there. But the more you look into social segmentation, the more you are at an early stage of your consumption of luxury. Because when you pass that social segmentation need and you enter in that maturity of purchasing luxury, you're going back to the self-expression, the self-pleasing, the self-indulgent, which is in the end what luxury is about. There will always be a social recognition element, but not towards the society, maybe towards a small community, which is your circle of friends or less. But first of all, it's moved by you. So that's why, to me, luxury is intimate. Luxury is personal. Luxury is something that tickles the values first of all. Then how we resonate depends on our values, depends on how we see things, and luckily it's so vast, the world of luxury, that you can express it in any way you want. But to me, the price, I think this is also in your generation will be more and more true. It's not, the price used to be the synthesis of prestige and quality of a proposition. Today is not the case. Not anymore.
Surface. Simple.
No, because today you have things that are less qualitative, that cost too much because of intangible values of the brands. I mean, you saw what happens in the fashion industry where fashion bags were produced, and how is the delta, how many times the markup it is. That creates a disconnection with the intrinsic value of the product and what the product is. If you see auctions and a two-hander in steel can be sold millions because it's hype, I don't think that watch will be selling in millions in the 50 years from now. I mean, it depends. I mean, it's something that can be also artificially created. So today, think of the bundling experience in selling watches that the post-COVID created due to scarcity. It is artificially inflating the value of certain watches and diluting the values of others that are bundled with it, and they end up at -40 because the customer wants to get rid of it because he had access to a watch. I mean, these things are taking away the archaic connection between more the luxury price of a product is high, the more it's prestigious, the more it's qualitative. Now it's not the case anymore. So that's where it becomes interesting. That's where people express their refinement, and it's beautiful to see that you can express something refined at a lower price than a hyper luxury product. It's the same in fashion. If you do a suit by yourself with a tailor, you spend less than going in a branded flagship of a store, and you have a high quality. But it's not the designer who designed the cloth. It's your tailor, and you have it for 10 years because it's more qualitative, and it's you chose the style with your tailor, and you have something personal in your wardrobe. You don't have to follow a designer that tells you how to dress every season.
Yeah.
Now, it's a different way of understanding what it is, but it's more qualitative, costs less, but it needs education, and it's also a nice experience to do. You can also do it with a friend. I mean, it's fun, no?